my name is Tiffany Stovall, a junior nursing major from Atlanta, Georgia. Let's go, Tigers!
Hi, my name is Isley Cameron, a freshman occupational therapy major from Swanee, Georgia. Let's go, TU!
Greetings, I am Soraya Blossomgame, a junior biology major from Atlanta, Georgia. Let's go, Tuskegee!
Hi, my name is Jalen Irvin, a freshman from Montgomery, Alabama, major in animal science. Let's go, TU!
Hey TU, my name is Crystal Malden. I am a sophomore psychology communication dual major from Tuskegee, Alabama.
Let's go, TU!
Hello, my name is Sabria St. George. I am a senior nursing major with a minor in social work, and I'm from Valley, Alabama.
All right, TU!
Hi everyone, my name is Nevaeh Ward, and I'm a freshman biology major from Cincinnati, Ohio. Let's go, Tuskegee!
Greetings to you. My name is Alea Barber, and I'm a sophomore biology major with a minor in materials science and engineering. Let's go to you.
Hi, my name is Kaylee Tannis, a junior occupational therapy major, psychology minor from Dayton, Ohio. Let's go, Tigers.
Greetings, my name is Destiny Collins, a freshman nursing major from Montgomery, Alabama. Let's go to you.
Hey guys, my name is Amoria Hurd. I'm a freshman nursing major from Douglasville, Georgia. Let's go, Tigers!
Hello, everybody. My name is Deja Akins, a freshman biology major from Atlanta, Georgia. All right, Golden Tigers!
Hello everyone, I am Morgan Banks, a junior animal science major hailing from Decatur, Georgia. Let's go, TU!
Hi, I'm Kiara Smith, a freshman animal science major from Phoenix, Arizona. TU!
Hi, I'm Alex Hayward, a freshman computer science major from Los Angeles, California. Let's go, TU!
Hi, my name is Lakeisha Henderson. I'm from Columbus, Georgia, and I'm a freshman biology major. Come on, TU!
Set! Keep it up! Keep it up! Keep that Tiger spirit up! You gotta keep it up! Woo! Keep it up! Keep it up! Keep that Tiger spirit up! You gotta keep it up! Woo! Keep it up! Keep it up! Keep that Tiger spirit up! You gotta keep it up! Woo! Keep it up! Keep it up! Keep that Tiger spirit up! You gotta keep it up! Woo!
Hello everyone, we would like to thank you on behalf of the Tuskegee University cheerleaders for coming out to our virtual 2020 homecoming. Hope to see you next year in 2021. Happy homecoming!
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Frank Lee, and I'm so privileged to be a part of a conversation with the Tuskegee University coaches and the athletic director, Willie Slater. And before we begin, I'm going to thank everyone for giving me the opportunity to be with you all this afternoon to just talk a little bit about Tuskegee athletics. And before we begin, I'm going to let our athletic director and head football coach, Willie Slater, introduce the coaching staff.
Thank you, Mr. Lee. We have with us today Coach Trelane Powell, who is our women's basketball coach. She also has an added responsibility of being the senior women's administrator. We also have Coach Benji Taylor, who is our men's basketball coach, and our Coach Reginald Holland, who is our baseball coach.
Thank you very much, Coach, for that introduction. Fine group of young men and lady there as Tuskegee University is in a very unusual situation. I said earlier before we began this conversation that Coach Slater would normally be getting ready. Coach, you would be normally getting ready for Kentucky State. And I think your previous statement before we went on the air, the fact that you have not been in this situation, not been involved in football on this time of year since 1971. Talk about the pandemic and how it has impacted the Golden Tiger football program this year.
The pandemic is really tough. It's for real, and it's alive and well in the United States of America as well as in Tuskegee, Alabama. But personally, I feel I've been really blessed in that I haven't contracted the disease, and the people around me has been fairly healthy. So we thank our good Lord for that. Right now, we're trying to not lose our program. It's tough to not be able to do anything with young men and young women because they get bored, and then we have to make decisions. Sometimes they make bad decisions, but we have the ability to uh, give them a schedule, uh, make them be disciplined, and they have a tendency to be disciplined and not do something that might be crazy. But I wake up every morning and say, man, it's great I didn't get a phone call last night. So uh, it's been a major issue, but hey, this too shall pass, and we're going to make the best out of it.
Well, we have read in the news where a lot of college programs that are not participating in athletics and fall sports have had a lot of their players to opt out. A lot of key players have decided to opt out this year. That is a clause I think that the NCAA did interject during this season. How has the pandemic impacted your recruitment? How has the pandemic impacted the athletes that you have, your lettermen that were coming back this year, Coach? Did you have any difference in as far as any players opting out, any key players deciding to opt out this year? How's that going?
Well, on the football side, we have had some players to decide that they don't want to participate in our strength and conditioning, which I guess that's opting out. As far as our players that we signed, I think we were 100%. So we got them all here. They're in school, and all of the new guys are working out right now. We have some older guys that decided that they're going to opt out. But I'm excited about the group that we have in football. They're excited about having the opportunity to start doing some things, and so we're going to go from there. Hopefully, before it's over, we'll actually get a chance to practice. We're not able to practice right now.
Okay, we're going to move on as the way the sports progress during the year. We're going to move to Coach Benji Taylor, head basketball coach at Tuskegee University, that has done a fantastic job. You're in your second year, Coach, here at Tuskegee. Talk a little bit about the men's basketball program and what you're looking forward to as we deal with this pandemic.
Well, it's when we got the word that we could practice and get our guys together, it was really crucial for us. I hadn't seen my guys like most of these coaches. We hadn't been together with our team since March, and that's a long time. And that's also a long time to develop some bad habits and to get lazy and to get complacent and to get fat and to get out of shape. So we're able to. Fortunately, I don't know if we're going to have a season, but we're preparing for a season. But as I look across the college landscape and the NFL landscape, if we continue to have teams that don't have offensive linemen or can't play this game or can't play that game, I think that's going to send a loud and clear message to the basketball world and in terms of whether we'll be able to play or not. But we're preparing for it. We were initially told we wouldn't be able to play until January when we started league play. But our administration has been supportive and have allowed us to get games in November, December, if we're able to. And it's been a trickle-down effect because Division One, they're dead. They can't recruit. They can't have people come on campus, and they're dead until January 1st. And from a basketball standpoint, they've lost a lot of games. Guys who were playing guaranteed games and getting money, they aren't getting those now. So it's been a trickle-down effect. I'm still waiting to hear from some other schools about playing games, but so I don't really have a lot of answers for the kids except to come to practice every day and get better and work towards our goal to win a SEAC championship this year and a SIAC championship rather this year. And we're doing a good job on the floor. We've had some challenges in the classroom in terms of the pandemic is really you have to be able to learn virtually, and that's been tough for some of our guys. We have guys that didn't have computers. They were trying to do papers and stuff on their cell phones, and the computer labs on campus, were not accessible to us as they should be. But we're trying to figure it out, and So the guys are trying to play catch up right now, and it's important for them to make sure they do a good job in the classroom because regardless of what happens, when we do start playing, some teams in our league are very progressive, and they could care less about what we're doing on this side of the campus if once we start playing in January and February. So we can't have any excuses. We got to make sure everyone gets to the floor but the guys have been working really hard, and it's you have to be creative as a coach, like Coach Slater just said. That we didn't have anyone opt out on paper, but in their actions they've opted out a little bit. So it's you got to be creative as a coach. You got to be creative. You got to keep them enthused and keep the the big picture in mind. And we're working hard, me and the staff, trying to do that. And right now, to be totally honest with you, we're meeting 2 or 3 days a week on academics and follow-ups and things of that nature, and just trying to make sure they're on the right path. But recruiting is very, we like our class. We're pretty deep this year. We weren't as deep last year, but we had a good year, and those guys worked really hard, and we were really top-heavy last year. We had 2 guys that gave me, 40 points a night. So we lost those guys, but we need to do it by committee. But in order for us to press and play in the type of tempo we need to play, we need to have a deeper bench. And I feel comfortable. We have 7 or 8 starters right now that I can start, every night. So just got to make sure they can make it to the floor and continue to work hard and continue to recruit and to continue to build our culture. The pandemic's really slowed us from developing our culture to where it should be. Because of all the built-in restrictions that you have. So we're just trying to continue to build our culture to continue to get better. And at the end of the day, these young men are blessed here to be at Tuskegee University. And I'm blessed to be their coach. And we got to keep sight of that and everything that goes on. And we're hoping that things get better. But I think if they take a turn for the worse, we got to be tough enough to get to it regardless.
Well, Coach, we know that you kind of got in late last year. You got a late start. This year you had a chance to get an early start on your recruiting. Talk a little bit about your recruiting class and how you fared in recruiting for this upcoming season, if we have one.
Yeah, last year I was only able to bring in 1 player because I got the job a week before the season started. He was good for us. Deshaun Millington, he was good for us, but this past year we worked really hard through my connections and people, over my 30 years of coaching, and we were able to get some really good players. My point guard is Raheem Felder from New York. He started for South Carolina when they played in the Final Four a few years ago, and at the University of South Carolina. So he's a high level player, and he's shown that he's got another gear, speed, leadership, and toughness, and I think he's a great addition. And then we signed a 6'10" player as a sophomore from JUCO. He's from D.C. His name is Horatio Carr. I think he has a pretty good upside. We also signed Rico Hallman from Atlanta. His dad helps with the Atlanta Celtics, which is a high major AAU program. So I'm hoping that pays dividends for us. But he's a 6'5" multi-purpose wing. And then we had 3 guys sitting out that I think could all be starters. Jordan Gaines, who played here 2 years ago, came back. We have Steve Dudley, a transfer from UMKC, who I coached against when I was at Cal State Bakersfield. We were in the league together, so I know his game very well. So he's been through some serious wars, playing Division I basketball. And then we have a guy named Ray Barnes, who's a good forward, mismatch guy. And if he can play as well as he talks, he's going to be pretty good. I haven't seen it yet, but if he can just come close to being as good as he says he is, then we have a chance. And then we got a local forward, 6'7". I saw him play a lot this year. Martez Jones from BTW. I never see him drop a pass. I never see him miss a rebound. He's just a rebounding machine. He's been great so far in practice. He still doesn't understand the speed and the intensity you have to play with at this level. I say you're not playing Lynette and Valley and those guys no more. So I just yell at him every day. And when he gets mad, it's a problem for the other guys in practice for about 5 minutes. And as soon as I let up, he goes back to cruising again. So but he's a rebounding machine. I think he has a tremendous upside. So, and we're glad to have him, especially being from BTW. We're just happy that he stayed home. That's my
Thank
class
you,
for this
Coach. Okay, Coach Trelane Powell. We're so glad to have you with us, and the Tigerettes are a very essential part of our Golden Tiger athletic program. Tell us a little bit about what the Tigerettes are doing, and what are you basically doing with those young ladies as we are faced with this pandemic situation in athletics? I think you're muted.
I was, sorry. Basically just trying to get them in shape, get them back acclimated to, the intensity of the sport. And already we've got aches and pains because a lot of these kids have not done anything over the spring and summer since they've been at home. And if they did, it wasn't as hard as they should have been doing it. So just trying to get them reacclimated to the intensity of the sport and get them back in shape so we can try to look forward to playing the season. The campus right now looks very, very different. So like Coach Taylor said, kids been really bored previously prior to us being able to work out and practice. So a lot of downtime, but also like he said, trying to focus on the academic piece and making sure that they're squared away in that category. And it's been a challenge. We brought a mixture of freshmen and transfers in, and it's really different to have some of your classes face to face, and then others you're doing it virtually, having to sit in front of a computer screen. So we're hoping that everybody uses this semester to really just basically get reacclimated to being in class and having to learn and study, hoping that they pick up better study habits as we move forward. But also, again, just trying to get them back in shape so that we can help prevent any injuries down the road.
Coach, talk a little bit about your recruiting class for the upcoming season that we would normally be in. How did your recruiting class come out for this year?
I thought we did really good in our recruiting class this year. Like I said, I brought a mixture of freshmen and transfers in. And I think that we are really, really good guard wise right now. Like I said, just trying to get my kids in shape, and it's mostly my post players that got to get in shape, and so that they can catch up with the rest of the team. Our conference is a super athletic conference, and they're going to get up and down the floor. So just trying to stress to them how important it is for us to be able to do that as a unit. But we did really well. I am very pleased so far. This is going into my third year here, and our first practice, we were feet beyond where we were when I first got here. And so that shows me that our returning players are buying into the culture and that they know what we expect. And so we don't really have to worry about them. It's our incoming kids that we got to stay on top of when it comes to that aspect. But we're extremely excited. We got kids from all over. We got a freshman from Trophy Club, Texas. We have one from St. Louis. We got one from the Atlanta area. And then, we actually have two from the Atlanta area. So those are my four freshmen. And then I got some transfers, some JUCO transfers. One is a post player. That's from Avon Park, Florida. And then I got another 5'10" guard from right up the street at Phoenix City, Alabama, Chattahoochee Valley. And then I have a transfer from Jacksonville State University who's going to be really, really great for us.
Thank you so much. And we're going to move over. Thank you, Coach. We're going to move over to baseball. Coach Reginald Holland. Before I get started, I just want to commend you and your fine support group. Finally, we're getting baseball back to Tuskegee. I know that's been a struggle. The venue has been extended over the years, and now through the hard work of Coach Slater, the athletic department, and your hard work as baseball coach, going that extra mile to get our facility back in shape. Washington Field looks amazing, Coach, and just wanted to just commend you and Coach Slater and the athletic department for a fantastic job of bringing baseball back to Tuskegee. Tell us a little bit about the upcoming baseball recruits, your program, and where we are at this point.
Well, absolutely. First off, thank you. The guys are extremely excited to return play back in front of the student body and the community. That was very instrumental in the baseball program here for years. But during this pandemic right now, we're just focusing heavy on academics. I had a pretty big class of 8, so that's pretty scary, when it comes to virtual learning. So just really stand on them heavily, just making sure that they understand that this is a major adjustment from high school to college. So just making sure we hold the correct study halls and do anything extra that we have to for them to be eligible if our season comes around. So mainly right now, we're just kind of getting our feet, getting our bodies back into condition, like Coach Taylor, Coach Powell, and Coach Slater stated earlier. Just conditioning, because we've been off since last March, once the pandemic hit, which is a long time to be without your team. And then we transitioned for at least a month and a half before we were able to condition. So just really taking our time, being very cautious, with everything we do, certain type of movements we make, just a lot of agility drills just to kind of get our blood pumping and just to get us back used to those actions that we're going to make, because in baseball it's pretty much 0 to 100, movements. So not much right now. I just told the guys we really are, thankful. We need to be thankful because there are some counterparts in the SIAC that are not even on campus. So I told the guys, let's take what we can get. I have a veteran team, so they understand a lot. Like Coach Powell said, they understand what we need to do, the expectations, and what it's going to take for next semester to be what we want it to be. So they're just leading our youngsters pretty much without me, and that's a sight to see. That means we have leadership on the field. So we're just getting at it daily, getting into shape, a lot of running, lifting a couple of weights, and ready to transition towards actively throwing and hitting and getting the baseball side of things together.
Coach, talk a little bit about your recruiting class for this year, as far as the time that you had, and I know you've had a lot of time off, but talk a little bit about your recruiting class for the upcoming season, if we have one.
Absolutely. Well, this class is pretty exciting because, like any coach, you want size, and I think we got a lot bigger across the board this year. So this class is averaging about 6'1", which is very different for us in our program. So when we get off the bus, I think we would actually, catch some attention from the opponents, once we, walk into the facility. So I'm excited about the size factor, along with just detail to pitching. We brought in 6 arms, and this year those 6 arms will definitely play a huge role with the returners. So we have, for the first time, I know since I've been here, for the first time, we have 14 active pitcher onlys. So that is a huge stepping stone for our program. The guys are, just able to focus on pitching, versus playing a position and having to pitch, because that's draining. So that's a big step forward in our recruiting, is pitching. I got a couple of guys from all over. We attacked Florida. We attacked Mississippi. We attacked definitely the backyard of Montgomery. Definitely want to keep some local kids, and I found some good talent there. And we also hit Atlanta. pretty good, and then also went to California. So a lot of personalities, and I'll tell you, it takes time to mesh those personalities and find that chemistry. And so we're spending a lot of time on these Zoom apps, team apps, just figuring out who we are and seeing if we could kind of put this thing together if we have a season.
Thank you so much. Coach Slater, we
Absolutely.
didn't talk about your recruiting class. I wasn't ignoring you. I know you've done a fantastic job, and your staff always find some of the best football players from across this country. Talk a little bit about the recruiting class that you have coming up for what you would have had coming up for this season.
Well, we did address some areas, and I thought we were successful in getting some players. One of the areas one of the major areas that we attacked was the linebacker position. So, and we've been able to see the guys run and see them lift, and I've been impressed with some of those guys. I got quite a few more than they do, so I can't remember all of them names. I'm beginning to put names, but
well, first, you've had a successful recruiting class, and that's good. I did see some of the names earlier in this year, and an outstanding job on that. Let's talk a little bit about a subject that we have a lot of alumni watching now. Let's talk a little bit about upgrading our facilities at Tuskegee. A lot of us from time to time want to see our athletic programs. We expect so much out of our athletic programs. But, I want to personally say that I think that our coaches and our training staff, we basically do a fantastic job with the facilities that we do have. There's a need to improvement. Alumni are always talking about improving it. And, we want to encourage our alumni to just continue to give and to upgrade our facilities. But I want to personally say that our programs are 100% based on what we have to work with. Coach Slater, talk a little bit about some of the things that you would love to see us as far as upgrading our facilities at Tuskegee.
Well, I want to kind of pat Coach Holland on the back, because, if you come on campus and you look at our baseball facility now, that's a direct result of him getting out there himself, him even putting his own money up to do some things. So now he has the backstop, he has the fence, he has the scoreboard, he has the field level. Now they will be playing on a field that has the correct dimensions. And it's been, he just spent a lot of time and money and effort and getting people to donate. And the school hadn't had to pay anything, really, for that baseball facility. He did it all. And so I really want to compliment him on the actions that he did. We're also trying to help, because we got softball. Softball need a scoreboard. Softball needs facility for the young ladies to dress. Softball need bathrooms. So there are a lot of different things that we need to upgrade what we already have, so that we can be a legitimate facility on campus. And we've been trying to address that. We've tried to address things that we can address. Go to basketball. Basketball need upgrades in their dressing rooms. We need new goals. There's just things that we need to make us be legitimate. But even though we don't have some of those things, my hat's off to all of these coaches. The great job that they do recruiting, getting young people to come in here and buy into the programs and give us great effort. Not only do they give us great effort on the courts and on the fields, but they're giving us great effort in the classrooms. And a lot of times it's not realized, when we start recruiting players for our sports, the one that have the best grades and the best athletes goes Division I. They go big time. So we have to do a really good job of evaluating student athletes and bringing them in here in the evaluation, a lot of times is we have to predict that they're gonna. You know, it's it's not 100% science on that. So that means sometimes we're gonna miss. And when you miss, how you gonna handle that, young man? How you gonna handle that young lady? And but our coaches do a great job. And one of the prerequisites, I think, for a coach, you gotta care about your players. You gotta care about these student athletes. And that's what I'm so proud of all the coaches at Tuskegee University. I know they care. I know they care about these young men and women's lives and their livelihoods, and they want them to graduate from here. I tell my guys all the time, look, if you don't play it down, graduate. I want to see you graduate. If you don't play it down at Tuskegee, and that's the most important thing to me. And then, Coach, you talking about academics. I hear all of them talking about academics because I have quite a few more of them to be responsible for. And because a majority of our young people had a midterm, so I mean they're having a hard time with the virtual learning and then the in-person learning. They do a lot better with the in-person learning because that's what they're used to. That's what they've done all of their lives. And then all of a sudden they're coming in where they're having to do virtual learning. That makes it tough. And so I understand exactly what they're saying. And I have twice as many as them. so we're struggling in those areas also. But I am impressed with the way these people are working. They're trying to get back in shape. You know, we got them overweight and all kinds of stuff going on in our facilities here. But they are working their tails off trying to get back there. But then they got to go to class. You know, we got a group that come in at 6 o'clock. You got a group that come in at 8 o'clock. Another group at 4 o'clock. Another group at 5 o'clock. And then they have to go to class after they do that. So that's why I can tell a student athlete, look, you're not a regular student. You're not a regular student. Regular students don't have to get so tired they can't hardly walk and then go to class or go study. They just don't have to do that. So again, my hat's off to all of those people. But then you talk about facilities. I mean, we got to have a facility that's safe for them to get dressed in. We got to have a facility that's safe for them to work out in. And the thing about it is the people that we are recruiting against have those things, which makes our job a little bit tougher because they have them. And then, you know, the number of scholarships that plays that's a big thing too. Because I mean, if you're baseball and you're going up against West Alabama, who have their full allotment of scholarship, but you don't have your full allotment of scholarship, they have to work with that too. So a lot of that stuff is overlooked. People don't really understand, but we have a great coaching staff, and I'm just proud to be a part of it because of what I see them doing with our student athletes. And the majority of our student athletes are African Americans. And I guess the other thing that I always talk about the parents too is the majority of the population on this campus are young ladies. It's 66% young ladies. So that means we only have 33% young men on this campus, which tells me something about our young African Americans. They're falling by the wayside. And we have an opportunity here to enhance that by getting more and more young African American men to come to our university, because once they get a degree at Tuskegee, it's a legitimate degree. They can go out and get some of the best jobs in America. And that's what we sell. And that's how we get kids to come here. But if the coaching staff didn't care, I mean, they would just be bringing them in here and didn't care if they graduate or not. But the majority of our athletes graduate. Women's sport, men's sport, it doesn't matter. These young men and women are graduating from Tuskegee. And again, that's a tribute to our coaching staff on every level. So we need the facilities to match that, though. But the only way we're going to get those facilities is through resources. So we got to, we are planning to make a drastic call resources to help us improve our facilities. And that'll help us, be able to get, maybe we might get, it doesn't take but one great one to really change your program.
That's right.
That's ultimately what we want. We want to be able to get that guy that would go to Jacksonville State, but he wants to come to Tuskegee, and we want him to be able to look at our facility and say, yeah, Tuskegee got comparable facilities. We want to be able to say that too. And that's been hard to say for 15 years for me. So I have a vision of seeing that one day. so we need your help.
Right. Well, Coach, I, on a personal note, I've been around Tuskegee athletics since the early 1960s. And I would be the first to say that some of our facilities are pretty much the same as they were 45, 50 years ago. And I personally want to commend you and your coaching staff for taking little and making much out of it. Our coaching staff and our athletes go through a great deal of sacrifice, and I look forward to the day where we can adequately fund athletics, provide the necessary funding without any budget cuts, and I realize that budgets are being cut, but athletics plays a very crucial part in our recruitment, our football program, our basketball program, our track and field, and all of our sports certainly are essential in making and creating a well-rounded college education. And I think you hit on a point, Coach, that I want to talk about now, a Tuskegee University degree in athletics. What does that mean as far as recruiting? When you go out and recruit, you first of all, you're recruiting great athletes, but when they leave Tuskegee, Coach, and coaches, you mentioned the fact that they will leave Tuskegee with a degree that I know personally will take you a long way. And just talk a little bit about some of the challenges and some of the things that you would hope that alumni can do to enhance recruiting, and also take an active part in improving and lobbying for first-class facilities at our university. Coach Slater, give me your point on that.
Well, I guess I've talked about it a little bit, but I guess the major thing is to be able to recruit the elite athlete, and that's what we go against. I know, but it's been a couple of years now it's been about 4 years now since we were in the playoffs, but we made the playoffs like 4 years in a row, and then we get to go play other people at their facilities, and then they actually have better athletes than we do. And but
yes,
in having those better athletes, some of those athletes we were recruiting right along beside them, and then they were able to take them away from us. And it was strictly about facilities. So we are pleading that come on and help us to upgrade, help us to get better facilities so that we can get that better player that might make a difference for everybody.
I would agree with you 100%, and I know personally, talking to you from time to time, the trials and tribulations that we face with. We want a winning program. We want a program that has always been winning, but we need to make sure that our programs are funded adequately. We don't want to cut any budgets in athletics. We want to enhance budgets and provide the necessary wherewithal to build not only a first-class athletic program for an student athlete, but also give them the academic preparation. Coach Taylor, give me your take on facilities, and what do you feel that alumni and friends can do to help support your program in basketball? Unmute your mic.
We certainly need everyone's support out there. Now, I just want to apologize. I saw Coach Parker Powell. I was waving to her, and every time I see her, I lose focus. That's the best assistant coach on her staff right there. So, I think facilities is something that we've been talking about a lot lately in terms of improvements. Me being a basketball coach, I do understand my place so to speak, and where we are in terms of the hierarchy of things. Anytime you have a football program, you're dealing with. I have 14 players. They have 80 to 100. So it's very important that anywhere that you have football is that they have what they need in order to be successful on the recruiting trail and everywhere else, because I think it's a trickle down. I really think that, those same schools that they go to and they become successful in football, I think, if I'm not mistaken, we're the second winningest Division two program in the country. So those same schools that they recruit from for good players, we could do the same thing. But I think it's sad to say, but facilities are way overrated in a lot of kids' minds. But it is what it is. I think we have a great coaching staff here all throughout. I think we're successful. We win, and we do it without having the facilities. But it can make it so much easier, and we can go to another level if our facilities were improved. And we're not talking about anything grandiose, anything major. We're just talking about keeping up with the Joneses, so to speak, the basics. And I think if we can do that, we can take a huge step. And I think that I'm going into my second season, and I know Coach Slater he's beaten the SWACs and the MEACs. He's beaten those schools, and our program should be rewarded for that. We haven't done those type of things in basketball yet, but I foresee us doing those things, and I think if that happens, I think we should get new rims, new boards, new locker rooms. I just think that's what goes with it, but we're doing the best we can with what we have, but we certainly I know every coach on this panel has taken money away from their family in order to do things for their programs. And we do that without asking for it back or without, bragging about it, because there are things that needs to be done. Last August, when I came on my interview, Jasher Cox was driving me around campus, and he drives me down to the facilities, and I'm looking at the football facility. He takes me to the baseball facilities, and I see Coach Holland and his assistant out there, and they're just like sweating. It's like 110 degrees, and they're just wheelbarrows everywhere. And I didn't know he was the coach. And so we left, and Josh is like, oh, that's our baseball coach. I thought he was like a worker. I thought he was like, I said, that's the baseball coach? So I immediately was like, wow, I mean, this. Then I came back, after I got the job, and I went out there, and they had done so much. And now when I go, it's just unbelievable. So I don't allow my kids to use it as a crutch, but it certainly would be very, very helpful if we were just comparable, if we had the things we need in order to be, when you start talking about student athlete welfare, it's a thin line, right? When you start talking about facilities and athletic training and, locker rooms and weight rooms, and just we want to keep the kids safe and healthy and those type of things, it's a very thin line when you talk about facilities and student athlete welfare, because those things go hand in hand, in my opinion. And we need everyone's help to help us get there. And I think it's a lot of small help makes up for no help at all. We're not asking anyone to do anything they can't afford to do or go broke out there. But I think that contributing to this great institution, and I'll be honest with you, I've been coaching 30 years, and I absolutely love the place. I love what it stands for. Yes, it gives me headaches, but everywhere else I've been, I have headaches too. Everybody got headaches, but this place is unbelievable. Is sacred ground to me. And I think it's an unbelievable place to help out, especially if you're an alumni, and we're going to continue to do things on the men's basketball side to really help us, improve. And I think it has to start. Coach Powell might kick me in the leg tomorrow, but I think it needs to start with football and making some changes over there, because on the weekends, if we bring kids to campus or during football weekends, I think that sends a very, very strong message. Unfortunately for me, I haven't had a recruit visit since I've been here because of monies and COVID and things. That I haven't had a recruit visit, do an official visit. I had some unofficial visits, but if we can take them to an environment The games are great, but we can take them to an environment where they walk in and like, wow, this is really really nice. And I think we got a real chance to be. I talked to my team about winning national championships. I talked to my team about winning conference championships. I don't want to just be good regionally. I mean, I want to be good nationally, and we have to make some changes in order to make that happen.
Well, Coach Taylor, I know you give back. I hadn't met you 5 minutes where last year during the tuna breakfast, you won money and you gave it right back to Tuskegee. So I was very impressed with you then. So you have a history before I even to know you well, you giving back. So we want to commend you for that.
That was the Alabama State weekend, and but my wife has to take credit for that though. You notice I walked back to the table with the money, and my wife said, "Take it back." So, so I'm not going to take all the credit for that. My CEO said, "Give it back," so I gave it back.
We're going to remind you about the CEO. You have a good one, Coach Powell.
My CEO too.
Coach, talk a little bit about facilities for our ladies, and I know that there are certain requirements, there are certain legal requirements that we have to do for our female athletes. I know you have that responsibility, but talk about some of the things that you would like to see in improving facilities for the ladies as well as the men.
Yeah, well, I'm not gonna harp too much on some of the same things, but it's just important. And like Coach Slater said, for us to have any type of success, to bring kids on campus, I try to bring kids on campus as much as I can, because I think that we have a wonderful campus. On the other side of campus, outside of the whole entire athletic piece, but also at the same time, we bring these kids on campus, we are basically having to sell ourselves and our program, not, our facilities. And like Coach said, it is what it is. Like, as much as we would think that a kid doesn't care about, the facilities, it's a huge part of their decision. And for the reason being that a lot of these kids come from high schools and junior colleges with much better facilities than we have here. And so they get here and they're like, oh, this is y'all locker room, and you kind of get that sometimes. But again, we try to target and recruit good kids, high academic kids. That helps us save some scholarship money so we can spread it out. But yeah, just having the safe facilities, kids going into the locker rooms and our lights actually work properly, or the floor is not flooded with water because it was raining really bad. Or, we can go and have a normal practice where we don't have bats flying around in our facilities. So it's a lot of things, like you said, that goes into the health and safety of our athletes. And for some of those reasons, like right now, our kids have not even been in our locker room. And they probably will not go into the locker room until January if we play. Again, we're just trying to do as much as we can right now to keep them safe. And just like they both said, we're going to need a lot of help to get to where we want to be. But I think overall for the school, to help even with the student enrollment, it has to start with football. That is the biggest sport at Tuskegee, one of the winningest, programs in the country. And
they winning this.
They win. And for me to bring kids on campus, we want to bring kids on campus when they have a football game on a Saturday. I've been at other schools where you bring a kid on campus to walk down on the football field, right before the game is like huge. And so we want to kind of, be able to do some of those things as well. But it's going to start with upgrading these facilities so that when students, not just athletes, but the regular students come and visit our campus, that they are taken aback too by our facilities. So.
Thank you, Coach Holland. Thank you, Coach. Coach Holland, your work has preceded you in regard to the baseball facilities. We know that you've done a lot of work on the baseball field, and there's still work to be done. The baseball field, the baseball facility has improved. Talk a little bit about some of the things that you would like to see us go further and improve at Tuskegee University. Unmute your mic. Unmute your mic.
I'm sorry about that. First, I just want to say thank you to the coaches on this panel, because what I need alumni to know is these individuals have opened up their pockets to my program, and the support and monies that have come in to get us back home from our coaches, our head coaches, even some of our assistants, is second to none. So I'm very thankful. My student athletes are thankful. They understand. I make sure it does not go unnoticed about who's supporting. So first off, coaches, thank you. Thank you for helping us get back. It's been a long time coming. 10 years, I know for me, this is my 11th year here as a coach. So just to have the support of you guys and you know, trickling in the last 2-3 years, and you come right in and support, says a lot. And Coach Slater, he definitely knows, you know, our relationship is really strong. He comes out there, lifts a hand, you know, with the dirt and the sod and the gravel, you name it. I'm just very thankful. So I wanted to say that, Mr. Fred, and get that out. But some of the things I think they touched on, we definitely have to start with football, because I know without that foot electric environment, I won't land a lot of my recruits. You know, that's the first place I bring them to. You know, a home football game. They always ask about the shed, which is a part of the football program. And I just think it's very important that we continue to upgrade our football facilities, with them being a juggernaut and leading the way for us here. But definitely, just in my area, I would like to see, you know, continue to upgrade the fan experience. So, you know, press box and grandstands, concessions, you know, you have to get a good bite to eat, you know, when you come and see a sports event. So, you know, restrooms, those are key things that I would like to see and that I'm going to work on, along with the school to enhance and get and happen and make happen. But just in an overall standpoint, I think it's very important also for these facilities for practice structure, because I know men's and women's basketball, you know, if we had a little bit more to offer for them, I think their practice structures and their days would not be as long, because a lot of people don't understand that, hey, we may start 5 a.m. in the morning just to practice sometimes, because these class schedules are not flexible. So that's a piece of the information that I believe goes along with our facilities and our infrastructure. I think it can really help our practice structures and just cater to our student athletes more, because these kids, they go over and beyond for us. They win with the circumstances. So I think a little bit of incentive, you know, yearly really tells a lot to your student athletes, and it shows them that, hey, you know, you keep working, we're going to keep working on our end. The alumni is going to keep supporting you, and we're going to continue to upgrade these facilities, because a big thing, like Coach Powell said, you know, these kids are coming from state-of-the-art facilities. And that stung me 4 years ago when I had a top-tier recruit come down and say, well, Coach, I'm coming from a facility that's 10 times better than yours. You know, and that stung. And so when I heard that, I took it personal. And I would just like to really see our student athletes get what they deserve. That's simple as that, Mr. Fred. And if we could do that, like Coach Powell, Coach Taylor, and Coach Slater said, we'll be nationally recognized as far as what we're putting out on the court, the field, and our also academically.
Well, you know, I'm going to say this, and I don't want you all to even comment on it, but I'm just going to say it as a concerned alumni. You know, I've been around Tuskegee athletics for a long, long time, and I'm very disappointed in our facilities, and more recently, our alumni. I talk to them from time to time, and there's been a large windfall that's been awarded to Tuskegee University in the sum of $20 million. Don't want y'all to comment on it, but I'm certainly hopeful that our trustees and our administration will take some consideration for improving our facilities. And I personally want to commend you, Coach Slater, the fine coaches that we have on this panel, for taking little and making much of it. We put outstanding programs on the football field, on the basketball court, on the baseball diamond. And what little we have, we do an outstanding job. We go beyond the call of duty for producing a product and a winning program. And I just want to personally commend each and every one of you coaches, because you all have been quite modest in talking about some of the adversities that you face every day in recruiting. You face these same adversities trying to build a program, fighting for financial support, facing budget cuts, and that certainly is not the Tuskegee way. And we certainly, as alumni, want to support each and every one of you to try to make sure and enhance our program. You know, we travel venues during football season, and it's good to go to nice facilities, but we want to have some of those same facilities back home. And you know, I can say it, and you might not want to come out and say it. We deserve more. And I'm hoping and praying that our administration, our trustees, will do their level best to make sure that you have the kind of facilities to compete with the kind of programs that you compete with. You all do an outstanding job putting these programs out, and I know what you go through. I see them, and I talk to you about them, and we as alumni support you 100%, and we're going to lobby, and we're going to continue to lobby until we get the kind of facilities that we deserve at Mother Tuskegee. We have about 5 minutes left, and we're going to go around and kind of get your final comments. And we realize that we're in a pandemic. COVID-19 has changed a lot of our lifestyles, and this time for us to sit around where we normally would be getting ready for homecoming. Coach Slater would normally have his football team somewhere in an undisclosed place getting ready for an outstanding victory on tomorrow, but we won't have that this year. We're having this discussion, Coach, as we wind things out. Give us your final comments, Coach Slater.
Well, I just first of all, I wanna thank a lot of our alumni. We have some alumni that has put their money where their mouth's at, and they've really helped us. They've helped us over the years, and I just want to say thank you. We appreciate everything that you do to help our program. And I know we need facilities, but we're not saying anything negative about our alumni, because I know they give us money. They help us in a great way. And I just want you to know that we appreciate that.
Yes, sir. Coach Taylor, your final comments as we wind down. Unmute you. You might.
Yes, yeah. I want to reiterate what Coach Slater said. I think it's important that everyone understands that we're not being negative, because we're going to be successful. I've only been here a year, and it's my goal to continue to bridge the gap between former players and these players, because they really need you. So I'll be reaching out, and I want to start having an alumni weekend every year. I was going to do it this year, but COVID is not going to let us have it. And so I definitely will be in touch, and we want to get you guys back here and get you guys around my guys, and so they can learn what real life is about, and they're tired of hearing it from old Coach Taylor. So I definitely want to bridge the gap, and I'll be reaching out. And hey, I love this place, and I know you love it too, and let's keep pushing forward.
Coach Powell, your final comments as we wind down.
Yeah, like Coach Slater said, we're all here for these kids. And that's basically, you know, we're servant leaders for these kids, and we just want what's best for them. And I too would like to thank Tuna and our women's basketball alumni outside of our regular alumni, because they help us so much. Like, we wouldn't be able to get through the season without them. So I just want to say thank you to them as well.
Thank you. Coach Hollins, unmute your mic.
Absolutely. Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely want to thank our alum. As an alum, I know it's important to stay in touch and in tune with what's going on in the now when they're away from Mother Tuskegee. So that's something that we'll definitely do. Just keep you guys abreast of what's going on. Make sure you are having some types of dialogues with our athletes, because we appreciate it all, from the connections to different corporations that our young men and women are able to leave here and work for. And just the monies that they send back and the time that they spend with our guys. We just appreciate you and are very thankful.
Thank you. Well, this is homecoming weekend at Tuskegee University, a very unusual one, as Coach Slater said in the very beginning. Since 1971, I think it was, this is the first time that he was not involved in a football game in some aspect, whether it be high school or quarterbacking at Livingston University, now University of West Alabama. We all are celebrating. We're celebrating virtually. And I just want to ask all our alumni and friends, as you watch this program, you would have come to Tuskegee this weekend. You would have expended some funds. Think about our athletic program and those monies that you normally would have used to come to Tuskegee. Write a check, earmark it for athletics, and I'm going to go on the spot saying that because our alumni are doing a fantastic job, but we can do much better in supporting the athletic program at Tuskegee University. These fine coaches go beyond the call of duty, traveling across the United States, recruiting not only the best athletes, but the best students who will have that Tuskegee University degree bestowed upon them, a degree that will take them and last them for a long time. It's been my pleasure to have this very, very genuine conversation. It's been candid. It's been unrehearsed. It's just been from the heart as we talk about a university that we're all so proud of. And I'm so proud to have grown up in this community and watched this athletic program and to watch it continue under the administration of Coach Willie Slater and our fine coaching staff that is on this panel. And as we conclude, I want to wish each and every one of you a successful year as we are still in this pandemic environment. We ask you to take this time to do the very best you can to work on the behalf of Mother Tuskegee. Alumni and friends, we thank you for listening. And it's been our pleasure to be a part of this very exciting panel. And I want to say happy homecoming to everyone.
Tuskegee alumni stand together to make a difference in the life of our historic university.
Together we support, we strive, and we give to help our school reach its giving goals, even during a pandemic.
From Long Island to D.C.,
from the East Coast to the West Coast and back again,
Tuskegee alums will do what it takes
to promote and to protect the Tuskegee legacy,
which earned us our top 5 ranking from the U.S. News and World Report,
and we will continue to do it the Tuskegee way.
I mean, ask yourself, where would you be without Tuskegee? Aren't you glad you don't have to guess?
We come from a long line of history making first, and this weekend is no different. So come ball a parlay with us, whether it be outside, at your home, or wherever you feel comfortable.
So welcome home, Golden Tigers, virtual style. Let's show our Tuskegee spirit and join us with giving back to keep Tuskegee on top.
It's a great day to be a Golden Tiger.
It's a great day.
It's a great day.
It's a great day.
It's a great day.
It's
It's a great day to be a Golden Tiger.
It's a great day to be a Golden Tiger. Greetings, I'm Skylar Rudley, your Miss Tuskegee University 2020-2021. It brings me great honor to welcome you to this illustrious university. Here at Tuskegee, we pride ourselves on being excellent. And without a doubt, I know when you start here, you'll learn the true meaning of excellence. I hope that your transition from college is successful and know that we are all in this together. Again, welcome, and when things come back to normal, we'll be able to ball and parlay.
We are so happy to welcome the class of TU24 to the pride of the swift-growing South. We hope you're ready for your 2020 summer virtual orientation.
Hello, I am Cedric Davis, the 2020-2021 Student Government Association President, and on behalf of the SGA Executive Board, the Post Administration, I'd like to personally welcome and congratulate you on your acceptance to the Tuskegee University. I am excited to know that you will be joining our Golden Tiger family. My role here at the university is to advocate on behalf of your needs, rights, and welfare. Unfortunately, COVID-19 has suspended the majority of our face-to-face interaction, but we hope that this virtual orientation session will provide you with the opportunity to connect with faces you'll be seeing in the fall. Orientation is an opportunity for you to learn how to navigate the university and introduce you to the Tuskegee University community, and to help you start your Tuskegee experience on the right foot. We look forward to seeing you and connecting with you soon.
This is the hardest working man for historically black colleges and universities, Tom Joyner. Tuskegee has done everything for me. If not for Tuskegee, I wouldn't be here. Looking back, I understand that when you're nurtured in an atmosphere where you're expected to succeed, you probably will, and I bear witness to that.
You let Tuskegee shine through you. It's not me putting my mark on Tuskegee, it's Tuskegee putting its mark on me.
An incredible and a special place, and I think that anyone who comes here feels that almost immediately.
And I have to do kudos for Tuskegee University, College of Veterinary Medicine, is because we're #1 as the most diverse school and college of veterinary medicine of the 32 schools and colleges of veterinary medicine in the United States.
And my first visit is when I applied, registered, and dropped my deposit to attend. So it just felt like I was supposed to be here.
Just our motto here at Tuskegee, do what we can, life comes, you make changes, you adapt, but we try to meet the needs of our community and then inspire our students through that process that they can come and hopefully replace me one day.
So I believe that Tuskegee is helping prepare me to be able to go out and do great works within preserving my community.
I'll challenge every single HBCU out here in the country and every other predominantly white institution in the country to show me how you have impacted the black community like Tuskegee has. And I promise you, you can't meet me.
History is part of the fabric at Tuskegee, and thanks to the leadership of Kwesi Daniels, architecture students are literally touching history through a program called Preservation in Practice.
We started a historic preservation program here. We've done it through coursework, but we've become very intentional about it at this point.
With the support of the National Trust for Historic Preservation and the National Park Service, faculty and students are learning how to bring history back to life.
They've flown us out to Wyoming, and they flew us out to Louisiana to learn the best practices with preservation so that we could come back here and do the work.
Putting hands on history is not new at Tuskegee. As the only HBCU with the distinction of being listed as a National Historic Site, history is in the very walls of every building on campus. In fact, Booker T. Washington's philosophy of learning by doing is probably most evident in the structures on campus.
You know, without these buildings, there is no instruction. And we're the only campus in this country who can actually claim that their architecture students and architecture faculty were responsible for building and designing all the buildings on their campus.
A century after students made and laid the bricks on campus, current students are doing their part to protect their work.
So this has been something really important to me because throughout time in history, African American history has been erased. So for me to be able to preserve my own legacy, and I feel like Tuskegee has really helped prepare me for that.
The work we're doing now is directly tied to our lineage of Dr. Washington and Robert R. Taylor, because if you want to know where you need to go, you got to figure out where did you start off at.
Tuskegee's start is one for the record books, dating back to the 1800s, and Robert R. Taylor, the first black professionally trained architect in the country. He, along with a handful of other black architects, are responsible for designing the buildings on campus today. And as a result of putting hands on history, Tuskegee stands as the 6th oldest school of architecture in the entire country.
In the face of racism, in the face of discrimination, in the face of everything that says you can't, he was like, yeah, watch us.
For Daniels, just watching is not an option. His students are doing the work.
Being able to see our culture within architecture is something else that's really special. So Tuskegee is helping prepare me to be able to go out and do great works within preserving my community.
I'll challenge every single HBCU out here in the country and every other predominantly white institution in the country to show me how you have impacted a black community like Tuskegee has. And I promise you, you can't beat me. There ain't no better place in the world.
The cost of prescription drugs for debilitating disease can be costly, so much so that sometimes people are forced to choose between regular life expenses or their life-saving medications. Now, thanks to a new program called Remedy Chain, with assistance from Tuskegee University, help for patients in need of costly cancer medications may be on the way.
Our role in Remedy Chain is to give them access to diverse populations, number one, give them access to particularly to the African population, number two, and then how can we improve Remedy Chain's processes?
Remedy Chain is the brainchild of pharmacist Phil Baker in Memphis, Tennessee. In 2015, he started a pharmacy program unlike any in the country, and its objective is to pair unused medications with people who need them for a fraction of the retail costs.
We have recycled or reclaimed and redispensed over $12 million worth of those meds, that would have otherwise ended up in the landfill.
Now Baker is teamed up with faculty at Tuskegee University to implement blockchain technology to increase the number of people the program is able to help.
We're just making what they do easier, faster, and more efficient. And right now we're using augmented reality and machine learning to do that.
It's a decentralized ledger, and this ledger allows you to share transactions, share money, share lots of things with one another.
Ultimately, the objective is to get cancer medications to those who need it safely, reliably, and at low or no cost.
Us being able to recycle these goods and be able to distribute to those who can use them is everything.
And so if we could figure out a way to use those, maintain ethical standards, and then get them to people who can't afford it, we can save lives.
Tuskegee University is among 8 historically black colleges and universities to receive millions of dollars to develop and deliver COVID-19 testing on campus.
It's a real collaboration between Thermo Fisher and Tuskegee. Thermo Fisher is providing all of the test kits and reagents for us to be able to test for the virus on campus.
It's called the JUST Project, named for Ernest Just, pioneering scientist and one of the founders of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated. Through the program, Thermo Fisher hopes to make available more opportunities for testing in African American communities. What's more, the university will be able to run over 500 samples daily and turn results around in 24 to 48 hours.
Putting the testing resource in a place like Tuskegee University not only serves the university population, it serves Macon County and other Black Belt counties who also have the lack of testing as a severe issue.
Black and brown communities are disproportionately affected by COVID-19. And with the cold and flu season upon us, testing and knowing your status is key. Tuskegee will be using the gold standard for diagnostics, the reliable PCR test.
When you get a positive result from a PCR test, you are sure that that is a positive. And when you get a negative result, you are sure that that's negative, and that's just as important. We have so many asymptomatic carriers. We do not want them out there thinking that they're negative and continuing to interact and not taking the precautions of being in quarantine when they really are positive.
And that's not all. During this pandemic, Tuskegee has been leading in the area of diagnostics. The university has been producing the viral transport media on campus for months.
We started making test kits, which we could do, to service the community and then pass those out to the local health authorities in order to be able to supply the needs of the community.
Over 3,000 vials have been created on this campus and not only distributed to our campus environment, but to other Black Belt counties.
Tuskegee will be able to run the tests on campus. But for the program to be successful, the community must have trust. Medicine and minorities have a difficult history. That's why Tuskegee is committed to moving forward with ethics and transparency at the forefront.
Because we understand that with this history, especially if there's going to be an inoculation or immunization coming out, our community is not going to hear and want to go and take that unless they can be sure that it's something that's going to be helpful and not detrimental.
And so just being on Tuskegee, what we're calling holy ground, that's in our minds every day as we move forward. Our job here as a scientist and director of our Center for Biomedical Research is to make a case over a number of years that we're ethical, we do right research, but we are going to bring it back and that you can trust us.
All right, Golden Tigers, take out your cell phones. Now's your chance to support our university from the comfort of your home. It just doesn't get any easier than that. We might not be together in person, but we can sure enough send our support for our students this homecoming. But we can't do it without you. So join our Text to Give campaign this weekend by texting GIVE, HOC,